Welcome, everyone, to the Sports Writers this week. We have Phil Stacy, Nick Giannino from the Salem News, Nick Kukuru, Gloucester Times. Matt Williams from the Salem News will be joining us here shortly, we believe. We expect him to. We have baseball, lacrosse, a lot of different things to discuss. We've discussed tennis in these podcasts the last few weeks, but Nick Giannino, you're fresh off a Monday tennis tournament match. And so tell us what you got for us in girls tennis today. We're recording this on Monday evening for everyone.
Yeah, no, it was a good one. I saw Masco girls take on Danvers, a team they had already beaten in the regular season. They beat everyone in the regular season. They went undefeated. They finished up the season with some tough out-of-conference matches to kind of gauge where they were really at. You know, talking to the coach after, Kathy Barnum, she said they dominated the NEC so much they didn't really know, how good they would be come tournament time. So they scheduled some of those matches and they won them all. They beat Manchester Essex. They beat Hamilton Wenham, who was undefeated. They beat Linfield and one other team that I can't think of off the top of my head right now. But in any case, they rolled into the tournament undefeated, obviously got some more confidence, go out there and beat Danvers today. So this is a team that, obviously we don't know some of the other competition in the bracket where, Western Mass and teams that are not really in the area that they can't really scout, but this is a really talented team. No seniors in their starting lineup, so they're going to be back strong again next year. Impressive sweep of Danvers today. No real close matches. They get some stud singles players. Kendall Scully was just named the NEC Player of the Year for the second straight year for them. She's their first singles player. She dominated today. Number 2, her sister, Tegan Scully, also rolled. Nina Klink, who played number 2 for them last year, is now playing number 3. So they're really deep. Both their doubles teams are really good. I talked about Hamilton Wenham a few weeks ago, having a good shot to come out of, Division 4 with a state championship. But this is a Masco team that was able to beat them and has a real good shot in Division 2 to make a deep run and hopefully come out on top as state champion. Like I said, the coach Kathy there said this is the best team by far that she's ever had, and they're going to be back at it again next year with no seniors on the team. So good stuff brewing in Masco for the tennis team.
Mm-hmm. Tennis. Anything else on tennis?
We had a couple other matches today. I already got some results. St. John's Prep, on the boys' side, they rolled. They obviously had a great regular season. They started out against Central Catholic today, one of their rivals. Handled them 5-0. The Marblehead boys got off to a nice start with a 4-1 win. Swampskip boys, 4-1 win. And then in girls tennis, Oliver Ames edged out Marblehead, came down to a second doubles match. This is girls tennis. A 3-setter at second doubles. So Marblehead season came to a close there, 3-2. And that Oliver Ames team is the team that Masco is going to play in the next round. And it's funny because they don't know anything about them, but at least now they have some, competition that they, same competition. They both played Marblehead, so they can kind of gauge it that way. But that'll be interesting, see if they can propel them into the Elite Eight there.
I wonder if they can ever use that as a feather in their cap or just a way to make that a positive, where you haven't seen a team and you really, maybe you can just get snippets of stuff online or, you hear through coaching friends who might be strong, who isn't. But,
right,
it's basically a pure, like, we play our best, you play your best, we see what kind of happens here. I don't know, there's something organic about that, I guess, as opposed to knowing something deep dive into your opponents ahead of time before you play them. It's just go out, do the best you can, and see who comes out on top.
Yeah, and that's obviously what's different about this statewide tournament where, when we had the sectionals, a lot of those teams they're familiar with. Now to expand to the entire state, there's going to be schools that you don't see, in a regular season that you're not going to know much about until you get to the tournament. You say, oh, you got to play this team. But, like I said, Masco challenged themselves with some tough out-of-conference matches, and they'll be ready to go. They'll get another home match as well because they're the number 4 seed, and Oliver Ames, I think, was like 13. So always nice to play at home as well.
I'd say Cape Ann's actually been kind of a tennis hotbed this season, believe it or not. Not the historical tennis powerhouse, but I have 4-0 tennis teams in the tournament from Cape Ann right now. Another one playing tomorrow. Gloucester boys beat North Reading. They moved on. They got the 2 seed Dover Sherborne next. That'll be a tough one for them. Both Manchester Essexes won, which is as to be expected in the first round. I know the boys in particular are really strong this year, the 3 seed in Division 4. And Rockport girls advanced. They beat Nantucket today in Rockport 4-1 as well. It's been actually a big resurgence for Rockport tennis this year. The boys play tomorrow. They're the number 9 seed in Division 4, and they host Sutton. So that should be a pretty good one.
Of course, Nantucket had to travel all the way to Rockport.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the
That's what it
14th.
was, huh? Wow.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
won't
got
go
some
into
good
the
teams.
whole. We won't go into the whole boat thing that I belabored a few weeks ago. So I'm sorry, I won't bring that up. All right, Nick, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying oh, go ahead, Nick. Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm good. I got through everybody. All my
No,
tennis.
I just think we got some good teams that can definitely make some runs here. So it's gonna be interesting.
I know we expect Matt Williams to join us shortly, and we can talk some baseball in a moment. But Phil, what about some lacrosse updates? What can you share with us on that?
Yeah, so I did first game today. I saw a Division 3 preliminary game. Wasn't much of a contest. Bishop Fenwick shutout Southeastern Regional. That's actually 2 lacrosse shutouts I've seen this season. It doesn't happen. You can go years without that happening. I've seen 2 in 1 year, but 15-0 Fenwick won. I think that's a problem. Sometimes you run into some of these prelim or first round games. It's just not a fair fight, so to speak. I'll give Southeastern credit. They worked hard. They never stopped fighting. They just didn't have the stick skills or the depth to hang with Fenwick. Their goalie was injured and had to leave the game like 6 minutes in. Took a wicked shot off the knee by Manny Alvarez-Segui of Fenwick, and he went down. Didn't return, so they pumped in another 12 goals against their backup. I don't think it really would have mattered, to be honest with you, if the starter was in there or not. Just one of those games. So Fenwick will move on to a first-round game to play at Foxborough on Wednesday, number 5 seed. Elsewhere, we just have that was the only game today. In fact, it's the first of the lacrosse games. Everybody else is starting either Thursday or I take that back. Actually, Peabody has a game Tuesday night. They're playing at Belmont in a Division 1 prelim game. 33 seed versus the 32 seed. So Peabody's on the road as the lower seed there. Peabody's had some difficulty scoring this year, Bill, but they've gotten some really good defense. Some Derek Patarelli, Scott Turner, captain on defense. Trotman Smith played really well. Johnny Lucas, another good defender. They're going to have to play a good defensive game to beat this Belmont team that comes from a good league. Will be at home under the lights, their place. The winner, unfortunately, is going to get the top seed, which is St. John's Prep. Peabody played them last year in the first round. I want to say it was 19-3, final 19-2, something like that. And I don't think it would be much different this time around, no matter who plays St. John's. They are a wagon. But we want to see Peabody win Tuesday night, so hopefully that's the case. They come out of it with a win, and they advance to play St. John's. All right, so moving on to Wednesday, then we have some. I think it's 3 Division 2 games. You get Danvers going down in Neshoba, and Neshoba's 18-0. Danvers 12-6, so they're off to pull off an upset there. Masconomet is going down to Silver Lake, which I believe is in Kingston, I want to say. I think that's right. Could be wrong. I should know because I saw Silver Lake hockey play Beverly this winter in a tournament. But neither here nor there. Somewhere on the other side of 93, near Braintree.
Yeah.
And Masconomet lost their last 3 games of the regular season, although against tougher competition than they normally see in the Northeastern Conference, with the exception of Marblehead, excuse me. So at least they're tournament ready by playing the Wakefields of the world to get ready for the state tournament. And Marblehead should be a favorite at home against Hopkinton. Marblehead coming off of 2 really good wins to end the season in non-league play. They're 15-3, and they should be a favorite over Hopkinton at Piper Field at 6 p.m. Essex Tech, fresh off of winning the vocational state championship this past weekend, they won back-to-back days. They beat Shawsheen for the title in overtime Sunday, 14-13, great game. They're going to go up to Pentucket and play a first-round game up there. They're 16-4. Don't sleep on the Hawks. Sean Parsons has that team playing really, really well. They got a ton of offense, led by David Egan and his 127 points this season. Really good goaltender and Damian Bierstecker. Great defense led by Captain Charlie Locke. I know Pentucket's tough, and they played early this year and beat Essex Tech, but I think Essex Tech's a better team now, so we shall see what happens. I mentioned Fenwick is going to get out of Foxborough and play. I think it's 7:15 Wednesday night. And in Division 4, you get Hamilton Wenham. He's going down to South Shore Vocational to play a 6 p.m. game, Division 4. Hamilton Wenham only 5-13, but got a decent seed, 18, by their own strength of schedule, Cape Ann League play and some of their non-league games. So we'll see what they do there. And then moving to Thursday, just a couple of games there. You get Swampscott's going to play at Newburyport. It'll be a tough test against a Newburyport team that beat Marblehead during the season, late in the season, I should say. They're a really well-coached team. Josh does a nice job up there. Got some very talented boys. The Haddon player, I can't think of his first name, Haddon for Newburyport. Excellent long pole, can run the length of the field, score, defend. He's physical, he's fast, good footwork. He's going to be a handful for Swampscott. Although Swampscott does hope to have its leading scorer back for that game, Jack Russo, from an injury. Ipswich is going to host Blackstone Valley in a Division 4 first-round game. And 2 Division 1 games. As we mentioned, St. John's Prep will get the winner of that Belmont PBD game. And Beverly will go down to Hingham, looking to shock the lacrosse world by knocking off the 4th-seeded Harbormen. Not an easy thing to do. When they last played down there in 2017 in the Division 2 state semifinals, Hingham won big 17-5. So the Panthers will be hoping to come back with a miracle of sorts in their pockets. We shall see.
Nick Kukuru, when we talked like a couple of weeks ago now, I think we talked about the boys lacrosse Manchester Essex Newburyport game. That was won by Manchester Essex, right? The one near
that was the girls.
That was the girls we were talking about. I'm sorry.
Newburyport beat them. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But Manchester Essex girls still got the 1 seed in Division 4. They don't have a game scheduled yet, though. So the 32 versus 33 game is tomorrow, and that winner goes to Manchester. We don't know when. On the boys' side, the only team I got is Manchester Essex boys. They're at Abington on Wednesday in the 14-19 matchup. So 14-19, probably a pretty good game.
Nick, can you, Giannino, do you have a note on the girls? Any other girls' notes in lacrosse? Bringing this one on you as a surprise here, maybe.
Sure. Yeah, no. Well, we haven't had any tournament games as of Monday night here. Most of our teams, actually, we had 10 local teams qualify from our coverage area, and all of them except for 2 earned a bye. So we got 2 preliminary round games tomorrow. That'll be Beverly at Woburn and the Division 1 competition, and then Marblehead is going to be hosting Tantasqua Regional. So both of those teams looking to advance into the the real bracket there, the first round. Not to say that they haven't qualified already, but moving on there. And nice note from Marblehead. That's a team that was very young and inexperienced, had a really rough start to the season, but kind of turned it around and was able to sneak in the Division 2 tournament. And Hadley Wales, one of their star seniors, I think she had 64 points this season, was named the conference's MVP. So clearly, she's done a lot for that team. And Annie Madden, the coach, was named Coach of the Year in the conference as well. So that's a good story there. Obviously a program that's had a lot of success in recent years, but a little bit down this year, and still are able to get in the tournament and host a first round or preliminary round game. So that'll be fun to see. And then, moving down to the rest of the week, like I said, we got pretty much all our local teams are in. We got Peabody going to Hingham on Wednesday. In Division 1 action, we got Danvers at Agawam. In Division 2, Masco is going to host a game in Division 2 against Ursuline. Swampscott's also going to host a game in Division 3. Essex Tech is going to host a game. Bishop Fenwick's on the road. And then Hamilton Wenham is going to host a game in Division 4. So I think we got, some teams that could definitely make runs here, just like in tennis. We got some talented programs. The NEC was up this year, I'd say, in terms of competition, really balanced and a lot of good teams, and the Cal as well. So, yeah, it's going to be fun to see which of these teams can advance. Obviously, Division 1 and 2 are real tough competition this year. Division 1 in particular is a gauntlet. You know, a lot of really talented squads. So, but Division 4, I like Hamilton Wenham in that bracket. I think Ipswich has a good chance in Division 3. So we'll see how things shake out when the games get underway.
All right, Matt Williams has joined us right on schedule here, and I think we should go to baseball here. And so, Phil, I don't know if you want to start us off, or Matt, or you guys make the call. By the way, Phil, is that an Oriole lid you're wearing right now?
It is. You like that?
I wanted to make sure. I thought it was,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
there you go.
This thing is old. This is probably 20 years old, maybe older. I don't know. I always loved this logo when I was a kid. And, I could care less about the Orioles. They stink. But I like the logo. And I don't know, I had a black shirt on today, and I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Good eyesight, too.
You are very good at coordinating. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
They do refer to me as Trey Chic Stacy. So.
Well, Matt Williams can accessorize with the best of them. So as well. Matt, tell me about baseball. Where do you want to start with some high school baseball notes here?
Geez, I don't know. We got a lot going on. I mean, there's already been 13 state tournament baseball games complete, 14, including Gloucester. Nick, has Rockport and Manchester played yet?
Yes.
So that's 16 tournament baseball games are in the books, and we haven't had a girls lacrosse game yet. And we've had one boys lacrosse game. So that's kind of the scales are not balanced, It's interesting. We don't have many teams left now. We're down to Hamilton Wenham and Marblehead just alive now as we're chatting here on a Monday night. St. John's Prep gets upset at home by Lincoln Sudbury. I need to look it up in my tournament history here. The last time St. John's Prep was eliminated from the state tournament at home. It's been a long time since that's happened.
What was the score of that one, Matt?
3-2.
3-2, yeah.
Strangest play I've ever seen in my life, or one of the strangest plays anyway. So it was 1-0, bases loaded, top 7. The kid got 2 outs quickly, a sharp ground to the first base, and the first baseman corralled it, raced runner to the bag. The pitcher didn't get over there. He lost the race by a half a step, safe. So that gets the run in. He dove for the bag, kind of got tangled with the kid. And it turns out Lincoln Sudbury, the second runner, because there was 2 outs, just kept going. So they got 2 runs on that play. So a sharp ground ball to first base that should have ended the inning scoreless. Lincoln Sudbury ends up getting 2 runs, which I didn't even realize until the bottom of the 7th when the Prep scored 2, and I looked at the scoreboard and they were still losing. I thought they had tied the game. So you don't very often see 2-run score on a bases loaded ground ball like that. Strange, it's one of those things that just kind of happens. And down goes the Prep. To jump to Danvers real quick, a valiant effort by them against Mansfield, the 3rd seed. They had leads several times in the game. They end up losing 6-5 on a walk-off. So that was kind of a surprise.
That was after they got the no-hitter from Joe Zemaitis.
Phil can talk about the no-hitter. Saturday Joe Zemaitis throws a no-hitter in the state tournament. Phil, what did you see? I mean, it was your first chance to see him pitch. We've talked about him all year. He's got finishes a year with a record 107 strikeouts. Just incredible season. Northeastern Conference MVP. What'd you see there, Phil?
Well, it's funny. I was taken aback when he said that. I said, boy, your curveball was really breaking today. He's like, it wasn't as good as it should have been. I usually throw it better. And I thought, wow, this thing was a big 12-6. He threw it with the same motion as his fastball, hit it very well, but just froze guys coming out of his hand because they're sitting there on that, 85, 86 mile an hour fastball coming from a 3/4 arm slot on the left side. Then he drops the hammer with the breaking pitch, and he just had those guys, frozen. Very efficient with his pitches. I think he was about 72% strikes, 63 out of 86 pitches, I want to say. Nothing hit very, very hard. Nice play in the hole by Trevor O'Neill at shortstop, kind of short hopped a ball that could have been tricky for an out. And then Michael Maroney, the sophomore left fielder, caught a line drive to left for the last out of the game. But other than that, there were 12 strikeouts or a handful of ground ball outs. I think there might have been one other fly out, and he was just really efficient. I would have honestly liked Danvers' chances with him on the mound had they advanced, although I suppose he couldn't have pitched Wednesday because he threw 86 pitches. He probably would have had to wait until Wednesday, Willie? And I don't know if
let's see. So
the winner of
Sunday,
today's
Monday,
game probably
Tuesday,
is playing Wednesday,
what
right?
days? Definitely. I think. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday is 3 days.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been able to pitch Wednesday.
So yeah, maybe not.
Nick Kukuru, you
You know,
mentioned.
the game could have been Thursday too, and then it could have rained. So I mean, and they would have gone to Marblehead too. So
Yeah.
I guess, I mean, assuming Mansfield threw their number one pitcher, Danvers is not as gifted an offensive team as Marblehead. So, hey, if you're Marblehead and you're seeing, well, geez, Danvers almost beat this, and we got a real chance if we play well to advance. So
that's a great point.
Certainly good news for Marblehead, a team that's got the deepest lineup, I think, around and swings the sticks as well as anybody, certainly in the NEC and probably on the North Shore as a whole. So
we called that last week. Remember
Yes.
the potential surprise bid?
yeah,
And they put up 6 in their opener, right, over Canton.
they did. Yeah. So good squad over there for Coach G, and he's the last one standing. So we'll see what happens there, But yeah, the baseball started early. It's gone quickly. I mean, it's hard to believe. We're 16, 17 games in. Cougs, I don't know who Gloucester has next.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got Ash. I'm shocked I have just as many baseball teams left as you guys do. 2 teams left. Gloucester won today, 5-1. Brett Moore was his usual self. He allowed a run, so his ERA went up today because he had a .56 ERA in the regular season. And Manchester Essex beat Monmoy 9-6. I don't know if they have an opponent just yet. And Rockport was beat by Hopkins Academy. I caught the last 2 innings of that one. It looked like Hopkins Academy's pitcher just kind of shut Rockport down. We have Gloucester hosts Ashland next. I think that's going to be Wednesday or Thursday. And, for the prize of getting to play Austin Prep next.
I'll do Pentucket first.
Yeah.
I wonder if Pentucket threw Hunt yet. That would be an interesting matchup. But granted, Austin Prep beat Avian Cabral twice this year, so Hunt probably wouldn't be too tough for them either. But
I think Hunt played today. I think Hunt pitched today.
Wow, and they won 7-6. So that's why I saw the 7-6. I thought maybe they took a chance with their number 2 there because it's.
I could be wrong. I saw.
Well, no, you
about
might
Hunt.
be surprised. You don't see Hunt give up 6 too often, but
He might have got a. He might have got a big hit or something. I saw something.
He booted some balls. Who knows? And we're just we don't want to get too much into the Pentucket talk here, or else
The Panthers.
Jake might get jealous of us.
You're just postulating, Willie. No harm in that.
That's true. It's true. We do like to postulate. So.
And accessorize. Okay.
Yeah, nice.
Okay. Let me just go around quickly here. Nick Kukuru, anything else you want to share from the Cape Ann area with us this week here?
Just, couple, you guys got your baseball teams wiped out. My softball teams got wiped out over the weekend. Gloucester, I don't want to call it an upset. They lost 6-3 to Dedham. Hosting the 23 seed, 6-3, evenly matched game. Dedham just, played a cleaner game. They deserved the win there. And Rockport got pounded by Douglas 10-0. That was a fairly
I was surprised by that score.
I was too. Apparently Douglas had a really tough freshman pitcher that kind of kept Rockport in check all game. If Rockport's not getting the strikeouts, they can be had as far as runs are concerned. They're a little shaky defensively sometimes. I think that was the case there as well. But yeah, I mean, I had, 2 softball teams host, and I did not expect both of them to lose on Sunday. But that's what happens. You don't play your best. You're going home in the tournament. Doesn't matter what seed you are.
Hey, I want to take a couple of minutes at the end to talk about the Bruins and Celtics. Bruins with some news here on Monday as we record. Of course, the Celtics tied in the championship series with the Warriors. But can anyone of you guys touch on softball very quickly? I know that's a transition from Nick Kukuru, who was just mentioning that. Any quick softball notes for us?
I want to say we're down to 3 teams, right? Peabody. There we go. There's the pup.
Yeah.
Hey.
We touched on the
All
Red Sox. This is Ted Williams.
Softball can't compete with the new member of Willie's family.
Yeah.
Well, he's under my feet here trying to eat the wires. So it's like, you know what? You got to be held then.
All right.
No, yeah, softball. Are we down to just Peabody?
No, it's Peabody, Masconomet in Division II,
Is Fenwick.
and
Fenwick
Fenwick is still
second round
playing.
yet?
Yeah. So,
Hey, shout out to Gigi Opont, right? 14
Yeah.
strikeouts and a 2-run homer to win the game against Newburyport on Friday.
Yeah, geez.
And Abby Betancourt said, "Oh, okay, I can do that too." Hits 2 home runs and throws a shutout. So
yeah.
it's all pitchers doing all the jobs here in softball in North Shore.
And then Abby had 2, and Gina Terenzano hit another one, I think, for Pete.
I
For
believe
Peabody.
that's right. Yeah, they had 3 bombs total. So interesting wrinkles. But tomorrow's game, the girl who's pitching for Reading was the same girl who beat Peabody High pitching for Billerica last year. So she had a free agent deal, I guess, to get to go from the Indians to the what's Reading, the Rockets, I guess.
Rockets. Yeah.
So we'll see if Peabody gets their revenge or if they go down again to the very same team. Well, not the same team, same pitcher that beat them last year. You don't see that very often. So that's kind of an interesting story.
Masco is actually playing as we speak. So they're playing at Drake, I want to say. And Fenwick plays tomorrow in Hudson, is it? I want to say 6 o'clock. And as you mentioned, Peabody's at Reading. So the Peabody Reading, I think, should be a great second round match.
Yeah.
I agree totally. That's that's
8-9.
tournament.
The winner is probably going to get top seeded Feenan after that.
I believe that's how it lines up, provided Fee wins. Of course, that's where Peabody's girls basketball team had to go in the winter, was to Bishop Fee. And so I wonder if we know a lot of the girls on Peabody play both sports. I wonder if there's crossover there for Fee too. Kind of interesting.
You know what? Who doesn't want to take a lovely June drive down to Attleboro? I mean, come on. You know, that is a destination for most Bay State residents.
I mean, it is for me. I know that much. But
You can make a stop in Norwood. That's true. You know what I mean? So
what's the name of that coffee place that's supposed to be so good down there? Is it
Mary Lou's?
Yes, yes. So maybe we'll have to try that if we have a chance.
nice. Okay.
Not
Nice.
near Treehouse though, so it's not a destination.
Right.
All right. So we're going to tighten this up here.
Okay.
I want to let's go Celtics, then Bruins. Bruins with a new coach apparently coming soon at some point. But Nick Giannino, quick update on what are your thoughts on the Celtics after game 2, or tied at 1-1 with Golden State?
Yeah, I think a couple things. The first and foremost, most obvious point of emphasis for the Celtics is the turnovers. It's very clear. I think they had 19 of them in game 2, and Golden State capitalized on those. They're going to kill you on the turnovers. Golden State's a good transition team, and anytime the Celtics turn the ball over like this, they've lost, or they've struggled and maybe had to come back to steal a game. But don't want to be giving the ball away like that. Too many careless turnovers, both passing and dribbling into traffic, just stupid things. But then on the other side, I think the Warriors defense clearly stepped it up in game 2. They threw some different looks at them, some different lineups.
Yeah.
Celtics weren't getting, easy looks from deep in this game, especially Horford. Obviously Horford had the huge game in game 1, 6 threes. He had 2 points in game 2. Marcus Smart scores 2 points. Robert Williams scores 2 points. So that's another point of emphasis. You can't have 3 starters combined for 6 points. It's just not going to get it done. A lot of people want to complain about the reffing. I think this is nothing new for the NBA. You see this every year in the playoffs. There's going to be games where you don't get the right calls. Celtics just need to play through it and not complain and not, like sometimes with Tatum, I feel like his body language is just not great when he doesn't get the call and he might not get back on defense, or he's complaining to the refs. They can't be doing that. Just play the game. You're not going to get every call. And probably in Boston, when it comes back home, the Celtics are going to get more calls than the Warriors. It's just how it works in the NBA, that the refs aren't perfect. Obviously in game 1, we were treated with a lot less whistles than normal. And, you saw a fun, entertaining, a lot of offense game in game 1. But yeah, so you can't blame the refs. I think the Celtics are their own worst enemy. And I also think that the Warriors made the right adjustments and picked it up on the defensive end, and you got to give them a lot of credit. So If you're the Celtics, you still got to feel pretty good about things, stealing a game in Golden State and going back home with, taking that back home court advantage, tied at 1-1. So we'll see what happens on Wednesday, but Celtics have been, have proven to bounce back after losses, and I expect nothing else in game 3 at the Garden. I think this is going to be a back and forth series and probably go 6 or 7 games.
Yeah.
Yes. Someone who's still shell shocked by the Joey Crawford, Scott Foster combination from 2010 Game 7 against the Lakers. I don't know. I get triggered every time I see games refereed like that. I know the Celtics will get their fair share too. They had a game like that in the Milwaukee series where they let them back into it, but I just roll my eyes at that whole league.
And the whole Draymond Green thing too. That's nothing new for him. He's gonna do what he does, and he can get away with some stuff, and he's aggressive, and he's gonna be up in your face, and he knows what he can get away with at this point in his career, and he's not going to hold back. Maybe he should have been thrown out for that little speckle with Jaylen Brown there, but are you really going to toss, a starter in the NBA Finals because of a little, it wasn't much. I don't know.
So I guess my question is, though, they weren't actually tossing them, right? They were just going to assess a technical, and because he got a technical early, so you have to assess the technicals. And if a guy happens to get 2, I mean, how many times did that happen to Rasheed Wallace back in the day? Like, I understand not ejecting him outright. That wasn't ejectable, but it's not their fault that he did something to get teed up earlier, So that's where I sort of disagree a little bit.
It's another.
It happened to Rasheed a lot.
But Nick, that was his 4th technical in the playoffs, right?
I don't know about that.
I thought that's what they.
Does that bring a suspension? Didn't that happen to the Phoenix Suns years ago? They lost the chance to go to the finals because they had a guy get suspended for getting too many technicals.
Yeah, I think it was.
That was Tim Donaghy and Scott Foster, right? Tim Donaghy kind of got him in that series. Someone got suspended for technicals. Wasn't that a Tim Donaghy game?
Probably.
Yeah, I think you're right. But in any case, it's one of those things where you knew he wasn't going to get a technical because he already had one, and they didn't give one to Jaylen Brown either, who would have probably deserved the technical with Draymond Green for getting into it with him. So it just canceled it out, and you play on. I don't know. I agreed with the call. It maybe not by the book, but that's how the NBA is going to do it, especially in an NBA Finals game where Draymond Green, a key player. If that was some random guy coming off the bench getting a second technical, they probably would have given it to him.
But why give him the early tech? I guess if you're not going to give, you can't. I don't know. You can't, you have to adjudicate each situation as it happens. You can't say, well, like they don't do that when a guy has 4 fouls in the 4th quarter. If he fouls someone, they don't say, well, he's a star, I don't want to give him his 5th. They just call what happens, right? So I think they need to keep doing that myself.
All right, I'm going to stop the Celtics. I'm going to take the final word. Too many bad turnovers by the Celtics in that game, I thought. And then,
no doubt.
And I don't think the reffing was that great, but they blew some calls. But like Nick said, it'll turn around probably in game 3 when they get back to Boston. Phil, Bruins announced that they've let go coach Bruce Crowder. What's your thought? What are your thoughts on what's that?
Cassidy.
Oh, Cassidy. I'm sorry.
Bruce Crowder, you're dating yourself.
Right?
That's right.
I think Willie.
Yeah, BU let their coach go too a few weeks ago. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I think Willie and I are in agreement, probably Kooks too. I mean, I think this is a stupid move. From my perspective, hey, I'm not around all the time. I'm not a beat reporter. I go to half the games and I'm there, but I'm not there practice or anything like that. So it's just observational. I think there were a lot of players, whether it's Jake DeBrusque or maybe it's one of the older guys or whoever, that didn't like that he was so blunt with the media. And I think maybe management felt like his message was getting old and they decided to make a change. I think universally people would say that the change should probably have come in the general manager's chair for not giving the coach the players needed to compete in a gauntlet that is the Atlantic Division. I mean, to me, the fact that this team took Carolina to 7 games was remarkable, and I attribute that to Cassidy. I was thinking quickly after I heard the news. I think since I've been around in this job and I've been able to go to games for 30 years now, I've been through 10 head coaches, and I thought by far he was the best one to deal with. He was always open and honest. He answered any question you asked. He's a real student of the game, and I think it's foolish, And now, what do? Do they throw a net out and try to land a Barry Trotz or Peter DeBauer or Do they keep it in-house with I don't know, Joe Sakic or David Quinn, or maybe even try to get Teddy Donato from Harvard? Who knows? I mean, it just, this is crazy to me. And I don't think they're going to be very good next year with the injuries to McAvoy and Grizzlick and Marchand, and you don't know what's going to happen with Bergeron. So they're going to stumble out of the gate no matter who it is. It just seems like a poor timing to do this, in my opinion.
Anybody wants the final 20 seconds, Nick Kukuru or whatever? Anything else?
Sure. I mean, honestly, I don't have a big issue with firing Cassidy. I mean, I know he's a great coach, but sometimes, it's time for a new voice. Like, the Red Sox were right to fire Terry Francona when they did, and he was the best manager they've ever had. But I just think the problem is why get rid of Cassidy and keep Sweeney, because, Sweeney kind of does not deserve to still be around here. We're going to get more Matt Boleskis on day one of free agency, David Backes, washed up David Backes to 5-year deals. His drafting's been all over the place. The only good thing he's done is keep his own guys, which is a little easier to do, but I don't know. I can't think of anyone with a worse free agency track record than him. And, that's the way you get yourself into cap jail, and which is what they did.
Well, the other thing I think
Matt, I'm sorry, we are out of time. We're against the clock because we're going to get cut off here, but we're against it here. Gentlemen, great job. Good stuff. And we'll be following you this week in the Salem News and the Gloucester Times. Take care.
Thanks, Bill.
Guys.